Well, you've tuned your dial to the right frequency. This is the BBC. That's right. It's Bailey, Braggy, and Girl. Unfiltered and Undiscovered. Over to you, Curly.
And welcome to the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast with, of course, the BBC. We have Bailey, Braggy, and Curly. So before any other ado, let's welcome my co-hosts. Firstly, directly from the world capital of lockdowns and home of the secret society of Spud, we're talking, of course, about Melbourne. And please welcome Matt Bailey.
Hello, Curly. How are you?
Fantastic. And from the home of Maxine's baked potatoes and their famous Mexican Spud from Adelaide, please welcome Dave Bragg.
Hello, guys. Rundle Mall, I reckon they're in. Is that right?
Oh,
yeah. They're quite famous for their Mexican Spud. Anyone who can put some Mexican into a baked potato is all right by me, I reckon. So
good to be here, guys.
Absolutely. We've got an exciting show. We've got an Undiscovered session. We're featuring Jeff Allen. He's from right up here on the amazing Redlands Coast. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
Now, during the course of the night, we're going to be sharing two of Jeff's songs. Jeff's been an accomplished muso for, a couple of years, Jeff. Is that fair to say, a couple of years?
Just a couple.
So to get the ball rolling, let's hear a little bit about your musical journey. Just a snapshot, but just tell us about how you got into it and where you're heading with it.
That's probably a longer sort of story, so I'll probably cut it down as briefly as I can. I was living overseas in Asia with my parents as a boy, and all I had over there was a radio, no TV, and so I managed to snavel a radio and I was listening to and then was Beatles and Rolling Stones and all that sort of thing. And at that point I thought, I want to play guitar. That would be cool. So at the age of a guitar and hired a Chinese teacher who could just speak English and started teaching me, and I learned for a few years and came back to Australia, and I actually enrolled in a music school and didn't last very long, didn't like it very much, and found it uninteresting, and left that along the wayside and ended up getting an apprenticeship and getting a real job, and just played guitar for some years in bits and pieces around town. And then I moved to Brisbane later in my years, and while I was in Sydney, I wasn't open to a lot of the music scene back then, but I spent a lot of my time following bands and going to gigs that I've got plenty of stories to tell. But and then I moved to Brisbane. I met a whole swag of musos, real diehard. So I got involved with them and got into a few garage bands, and then we got out and played a few gigs, and that went from there. And I actually battled with anxiety for a lot of years, so that was difficult for me to get over, playing sort of live. And for many years record, and so as time went on, I've been writing tunes along the way, and not thinking that they're any good. I recorded an EP quite some years, about 10, 12 or more years ago now. Did a couple of CDs. There was a few originals and other covers, and then as time went on, I started doing some solo stuff, and I didn't enjoy that a lot. So been in and out of bands. And then I had an epiphany and looked in the mirror one day, and this is, I'm still thinking I'm a young, 20, 30-year-old bloke out there, and I got my life in front of me, and, I've still got time to be a rock star. And I looked in the mirror one day and thought, mate, your time's done. So what are you going to do? And so I sat down and did a bit of soul searching, and so the one thing I wanted to do before I left the planet was write and record some songs, and it's been a dream all my life. And so there was a point in time where it was, okay, how am I going to do this? Because I'm not a trained musician per se, but I've been around for a while, and so I started writing, and the songs that came out as they were, and I listened to them even today, and I think, I could have done this like there, I could have done that there, or done this here, but they're all done in a home studio, and there's a lot of time and effort put into it, so and the first few songs were experimental because, from my perspective, because I didn't actually have a band per se. So when I went into the studio, I went into with Afterlife was 4 chords and an idea. That's it. That's all I had. Nothing else. And I booked, and I sat and I was trying to write, and I was trying to put together melodies, and I'd get play through it, and that sounds good, and I'd sit with that, and I'd come back and play it again, and it's like, that sounds crap. And so I kept ditching it. It came, and I rang Luke and I said, mate, I'm going to book a session. And he said, oh, what do you got for me? Like, can you send through a demo? I said, no, I've got an idea. I'm going to come in the studio when we'll work it out there. And, for most musos that do recording, that's an expensive exercise. So going in and doing that. But that's what I did. And so I would, that song in particular, I kind of built bit by bit, and played. I play as much as I can on them. Firelight song that has a string pad in there because I couldn't get anybody to play strings, and I couldn't do it myself. So we kind of, so it's been a bit of a journey, doing it all myself, and me, and just me and Luke, which is the young engineer that I met some years ago. At university, and we just became friends, and so he built his father's a builder, so his dad built him a very cool space, and fitted it out, and once he got himself up and running, we went in there and had a bit of a play around, and then when we were all had got to know each other and gel, I thought this is a good opportunity to record. So I'm not getting any.
That's an interesting story.
I'm looking at you guys at the moment, and you guys, I've got a few years on you, but and it all came from, and I'm still writing and doing, putting myself through courses and songwriting courses and stuff like that. A lot of it's online at the moment, but I'm a bit choosy about where you spend your money, and
absolutely.
I've got a lot of music. I've got a lot of muso friends that help me along the way, but to just predominantly myself and Luke.
Yeah.
My brother has done a majority of the lead work on there, and the female vocals. Those two ladies that thankfully don't have their time and their vocals to bring it all together. So
it's a
That,
very interesting story, Jeff. I enjoyed that. Really resonated with a lot of it as well. And I think one of the things is the age thing. You know, you said you're too old to be a rock star, and I think that stops a lot of people. They get to an age and they're like, "Oh, I'm too old. I'm not going to do it." And I think that you are never fucking too old to do anything.
Yeah, I completely get where Jeff's coming from there. You want to leave something behind. When no one was getting any younger, you want to leave something behind. I know one of the things that inspired my thing was my daughter said, "Dad, stop fucking keep saying you're going to do something and actually do something."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Yeah.
The other thing that sort of resonated with me was the anxiety piece. So, you know, how many people find solace in their creative arts, no matter what it is, whether it's music or book writing, because of that, they've got they suffer from anxiety or other forms of you know, mental health. You know, it's a really important I suppose strategy or a what's the word I'm looking for, therapy for people. So yeah.
So Jeff, you're a guitar player then, obviously.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, acoustic guitar player. And when you play solos, is you just you and your guitar, like singer songwriter style? Or do you
Sorry?
when you play live?
Yep.
When you do, I mean, I know there's not much live stuff happening at the moment.
Yeah.
But when you do, it's just you and your guitar, or
That's right. Yeah. I played locally. I had a mate that had an Italian restaurant in a which is and on a Tuesday, and I was on my own at that stage, and a Tuesday night, I'd go over to the restaurant and I'd sit in the corner with the guitar and play and sing, and he'd feed me. And
we've all been paid with a feed. Yeah.
and I'd sit and sing a few songs, and I used to do stuff like that. I did a lot of solo stuff. There's a bar down on the marina, and I played there for just on a Sunday afternoon. But just me and a guitar. I used the stomp box for a bit, but no effects. And then, you know, like not today, like you've got your loop stations and things like that. I've got all that. I still like just playing me and the guitar and a stomp box.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's
play covers. Did you play covers or originals live?
Mostly covers.
Yep.
If you listen, I saw the songs that I've got out at the moment. You know, I consider those songs studio songs.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah. Not to say that I couldn't play them live, but
I think we're all relate here. It's very hard to play originals live, as in like venues don't want they don't want originals in some places.
Absolutely, it's
unless you
world.
Yeah, that's right. Unless you've got, you know, really catchy, well put together pop tunes or blues tunes, you know, like something that's really kind of in that genre, that area, and it fits in with the songs that you're actually playing. It is difficult.
Yeah.
And I can imagine what the bands in the day were like, going out writing songs and playing nothing but the original tunes, and then throwing a few covers in there just to keep everybody happy.
They all would have done that for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's put Afterlife on, and then we'll get back to the chat once we've listened to Afterlife. So this is the song Jeff put out in 2019. It's available on Spotify, and of course, those links will be in the show notes.
Oh, for it to be 2019 again.
Yeah.
summer land. The drifter lost in time, I will wander on through this afterlife.
Tave, where's
Yes.
our musician gone? I've lost you on the screen, mate. So
I can still
Me?
see him.
Yeah.
He's there.
I'm interested to understand what were the influences in that song for you, Jeff.
That's yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. How long have we got? I'll try and bring that together quickly. When I played my last duo, I played with Mike, the other guitar player, used to play with me. His friend, he had a friend. Her name is Julie Wallace, and to play a charity gig. You know, Julie's daughter Zara. If in 2016, Zara Zelnick was sitting in a cafe on London Bridge when the terrorists hit London Bridge and started killing people.
Yep.
She lost her life that day. And so it was early days, and she was a local girl, and so we played a gig, and it was Julie and her new husband then were putting together called which is today raising money for families that have had loved ones that have been murdered or killed in violent situations. And so we were asked to play at this gig, and it was down on the foreshore at Raby Bay. And what happened was that it got that big that council said, you can't have it down, there's too many people. So they moved it to the Cleveland Showgrounds. So I don't know how many thousand people came. It was 2,000 or 3,000 people went through that night. And when I come off stage, my phone went off and it was going, I saw you on Channel 7, I saw you on the news. So the news were outside somewhere. So we ended up hitting 9 News and 7 News, all that sort of thing, which was, 15 minutes of fame. And so from then on, we've been supporting them. We were supporting them doing charity gigs for them. And so talking to Julie and hearing about how Zara lost her life and, the family.
Yeah.
So that's where that song came from. And it came from I sit and think about what it would be like if it was me lying on the ground that day.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Absolutely. And
that's where that came from. Yeah. I get a bit emotional just talking about it.
I bet, you would.
So one of the things that I really love about this song, and it sort of hit me the other day, I was out doing a walk with my wife, as we want to do, and there's just something really I really like the song, and it sort of starts. So I've sort of equated the song into like a Sunday session, right? So bear with me, guys. So it's like to me, it's like a Sunday session because it starts off really chilled. It starts off really mellow, a bit of an acoustic, and it sort of lulls you into this false sense of security. And at the same time, it's sounding strangely familiar. The chorus has got that strangely familiar hook to it. And so the first chorus, then you get a little bit of a tease of a guitar, just a bit of a chorus. However, what I would call this dirty undercurrent of music starts happening underneath it. You get a real sense of
the build up.
Grunge. It's almost like grunge. It's almost like Jesus and the Mary chain decided to plop in underneath, right? So you've got this real dirty undercurrent that's really starting to happen. And then the guitar solo sort of lifts itself up above the grunge. The drums, just that last little bit of drum work that sort of kicks into the final bits. And then you've got your vocals that just soar, and that's the way you'd always want to finish a Sunday session, on fire and on top and soaring.
That's what I noticed about it as well. I think the second chorus had the electric guitar in the chorus, or maybe it did it in the first. I just noticed it more in the second, and then that solo, and then production Matt went into gear, and I'm like, once this solo's building, and I knew it was going to drop, and it did, and I fucking loved it. There's just nothing, and it's just the one strum acoustic guitar, and then your vocals, and then I think there was drums slowly coming back in, and then back up to the build up. So I fucking love that. I love the solo. Let's get up all the way here, and want to drop it back here, and then fucking boom, like a roller coaster. So good.
The drop. Humans naturally love a drop.
Fuck yeah, we do.
It's true. Because it goes away, it comes back, but it's coming back. So it's like you're predicting the future because you know it's going to come back, and that's what's so pleasing to us.
Absolutely.
About a drop in music, when it breaks back, you go, "Oh, it's coming back." I know.
Just like an EDM track when you get that build up in a club, and then
bang,
and then bang.
So Jeff, who else have we got on there? So you're playing the acoustic, and you see, was it your brother playing the lead lines, or?
Yeah, I had. Look, I play lead, and but I don't. The reality is I don't play like him, and so his feel and style technique is different, and everybody's is, and
Yeah.
I'm more. If I was to play lead, I'm more a slow hand. So, you know, I'd be cool on blues and stuff like that. But I wanted, you know,
that song needed that. It needed a bit more. I needed some
The oomph.
Yeah,
the
look,
oomph
you know,
and-
I was trying to portray what would have happened. You know what I mean? Like, I can imagine being hurt, and it's not necessarily, you know, like hit by a car, or I could have been anything, you know, but lying on the ground bleeding, knowing that you're not going to make it, you know.
Yeah.
And apparently it was actually quite violent. You know, I kind of wanted to portray that as well. So the guitar in it's actually quite aggressive, and it's rough, and it's messy, and we had some really nice clean leads, and it was, you know, I thought that's really cool, but it's not portraying the song. I want the song to be like, and it's a guitar song. There's nothing much else in it. It's me, you know, Luke on drums, and we all collaborated. I did all of the rhythm stuff.
Bass?
And
you
then
playing the bass as well? Are you playing?
I do on some of them, but most of it I kind of work it out. But I get Luke played bass on that because you know, he came up with a you know a pretty cool, you know, between us. We all sort of collaborated.
Yeah.
And he and Luke's helps with the production of it as well, you know. So and I didn't have a lot at my disposal. I didn't have much at all. So I had a few acoustics. The gritty guitar was a more standard run through a Fender Deluxe.
Very
We might do
nice.
all
Very
that.
nice.
Yeah, so that nice, you know.
Now.
Yeah.
What were the acoustic guitars?
That was actually my brother's. Hang on a second, let me think. That was my brother's Canadian-built Seagull.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that
acoustic.
exciting? Isn't it exciting, Jeff, when you got your song and you take it to other people who are going to play on it for you, and they hear it, not maybe not as you hear it, but I just find that part exciting when they see what they bring to it. You know, they always bring other people always bring something that you're not expecting usually, and you go,
Oh, tell me about it.
Did I hear female vocals as well in the chorus? Was there female vocals in that? Or was it just backing vocals? Just backing vocals.
That's my brother.
Your brother.
That's my brother. He's got a great falsetto.
Yes, it was very.
But between
the walls or something, yeah.
Look, I don't. My fault. Yeah, my upper register isn't that great as I'm getting older, so I find that more difficult. But you know, song I just wanted to try and do as much as I could with what we had, particularly putting together, go out and book more studios, and then go back out and go, okay, well, because I got a little studio at home, you know, I play around in. I used to record it, but I don't much these days. I go to Luke's and record there. But that whole song went into the studio very, very. To that, it actually, it is a metamorphosis, you know, like kind of, it actually created its own personality. So it was really a really cool process, you know, and getting used to the whole recording process all over again. Yeah, a lot of years, and so and actually in a quite a big studio and quite a big space, and I recorded with a band, so you know I had bass player, drummers, and I backing, but like backing vocalist, you know, had all that stuff.
Do you
But
feel like
this time I didn't
overwhelming?
have any of that. I didn't have a band at all. It was just me.
Did you feel better just having you?
Sorry?
Did you feel better just yourself and Luke and not the band?
Mate, yeah, actually I do. Yeah. I always listen to it and think, you know, like I could have done better, but you know, the songs that have come out as they are, and I had to make a call and line in the sand and just say to myself, well, that's how they're coming out. And
Yeah.
you know, like and once I started that process I do today, I still don't have a band. And we go into the studio together and we work through it. And,
so is Luke's studio like a typical studio, or how's it set up? Because I think the environment of a studio is very important for a musician as well.
It's a professional. It's a home studio, but you know, I've got a like a double garage, and I've actually, when I bought this house, I had no side access, and I had this double garage down the back that was empty, and I'm thinking I can't get a car, I can't get a wheelbarrow down. I could do it. Had the put a small studio in there, which I have done. I've had it for 20 years. And it's a rehearsal space for me now. And but Luke has a very, it's actually a very professional space. He's got he's got a lot of professional gear in there. So you know, he's got a good. He doesn't have a vocal booth per se, but he's got a really good dead space for doing vocal work. And the shape. So
that's sort of what you want.
Well,
yeah,
sorry?
That's what you want. And that's what you want. That's what I was getting to. Like, I found like a traditional studio very like overwhelming. Where I record now, it's just at a guy's house and he's got a studio set up. But you know, he's got fairy lights set up. He's got like a lava lamp thing. Like, it's very home feely, and like the environment, it's so important for being a musician or in any creative space. It's very important.
Very much.
Very important. Yeah, it's got to be. When you walk in, like when I walk into his space, I feel more. I'm more comfortable in there. I do in my own space.
Exactly.
And you go in there, and it's you know, he's got a big lounge in there, and he's got guitar on the wall. He's got a drum kit. There's a kit set up. There's always and he's, you know, amps and you name it. And so then you go in there, and you know, I t-shirt, shorts, no shoes, you know, like really comfortable.
Yeah,
and,
I go
in Queensland. That's why.
Like that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so
let's no shoes on.
let's get our second song up and running for tonight. This is a song. So Jeff released Afterlife in 2019. He backed it up in 2020 with an EP called Firelight, I believe. But we're going to play Run for Cover from that particular EP. So here we go. Whoop.
She stole a piece of my heart. I've gotta run for cover. She stole a piece of my heart. Now I'm in trouble. She spins a web in the devil style, seduces you with a vixen smile, takes you in with a strange kind of love. my heart, now I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
You're in trouble, Jeff.
I'm a sucker for a 3-minute pop song, man. I love it. That's my favorite
Probably
one of
my-
yours, Jeff. Probably your least favorite, is it?
That's probably my least favorite, that one. Yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, because it's, you
Yeah,
know, cliche-ish.
yeah.
but-
The
As,
cliches are cliche for a reason. They work.
yeah, the whole, even the music, because I had all that recorded, and I'm thinking, cheesy, and anyway, I
You got
ended up
some pretty deep. You got some pretty deep songs on your album, especially now hearing the background to Afterlife. So
obviously, but
we
all need a little bit of lightness after that.
heavy shits. I think sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the punters would love that song. You
think
could
so.
almost see the carnage on the dance floor to that
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of a song. Yeah.
yeah.
it's interesting. I mean, majority of the like my friends, people that know me,
Yeah.
they all love that song, and I
Yeah.
think
I know.
It's a good song.
I know. It's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I got
Yeah,
two text messages today, Jeff, and both of them were, "Are we playing Run for Cover tonight?" So both of these guys sort of, that's what they wanted to hear.
I think what it is that it's probably those other songs, Jeff. You've put so much work in. I can tell, especially the lyrics. So much of your heart's in it. And this one, maybe you haven't taken as much time. You write, so you think, oh well, But sometimes those little things that come out,
Now,
it's a throwaway, but it's a good
Yeah.
song.
It's a little
You know,
gem.
were they
I want to hold your hands, just a throwaway song, and
were they
I
female vocals on there, or am I hearing shit again?
there is female vocals in that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's your brother on the solo again, the lead guitar.
Yes,
He's
that's
leaving
his
his
that's his
footprint.
that's his that's his country coming out of him. He's
Oh, love a bit of country.
he likes his country guitar. So and it out from time to time.
Yeah.
And when he played that solo part, Luke said, "That's really cool. Different and nice." And we anyway picked that particular one, and the song will be the same without it now, obviously. But
yeah.
but it's very it's very different.
Yeah.
And
so
we've had some commentary. Yeah,
Sorry?
we've had some comments on the live stream
Oh
from
no, look
a lady
out.
you might know, Jeff. So Karen saying
Oh.
it works. I've always loved it. So that's Karen Howe, Jeff's
Oh,
wife. So
yeah.
it's always works. She loves the song. It's just that it's not sitting quite as well with yourself. So
The question I want to ask for the first time tonight. Tell me about the artwork on this EP. That photo. Did you take that photo?
It's
like a caravan park there. Yeah.
yes, yep.
Yeah. So does that have a story to any of the songs?
Not particularly. I was toying with the idea because not being au fait with how because the way music's portrayed now, like the way that it's marketed is extremely different to the way. And there's so many different companies out there, platforms. So I did a lot of research, and then I songs out there, and I go and check their songs out and listen to them and see what they do for artwork. And some of them are very basic, some of them are just drawings and pictures, and some are quite detailed,
Yeah.
So I want to do something more old thing,
Yeah.
So
Jeff,
just flicking through my phone one night, looking at photographs that I'd taken, I thought, look, because what I was looking for was a photograph of myself. There was a photograph that was taken of me sitting at the front of the house when I was a kid with my first guitar, and it was as big as me. So I'm sitting there like this guitar on the front step of the house when we were living in Asia, and I thought that would be very cool just to have a photo of that music kid on the front of it, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So I'm flicking through my phone, and I had all these photos that I was taking of sunsets when we were camping in the caravan, and I remember taking this photograph of the trees. Excuse me. This particular evening, I'd taken a few, so that one in particular caught my eye, and I just put it aside. And then I sat down and I'd got this app that my wife had told me about, and so I started playing around and putting things on in front of it. Anyway, I came up with that, and I did it on my phone. I saved it and I sent it to myself, and then when I was ready to actually, when I started uploading the songs, I need to obviously put artwork. So when I was ready to actually go through that process, because I've not done it before, so I wanted to do all that myself. So so I did the research and worked all that out, and then found a company that I wanted to release them through, and did all that. And I thought, well, I'll attach it and see what it looks like, and it came up pretty good. I thought that looks all right. So that's how that came about. But it was very simplistic, and I did it on my phone, which was really interesting. But it came out really well.
Really like the idea of you using a photo that you've taken, even if it has nothing to do with any of the songs, because someone could look at that and that could mean something to them. Just like the reason you write a song, you could be going through whatever you're going through, but someone else hears it and then interprets it in their own way as well. And I think
exactly,
I think songs have a weird thing of like I've listened to songs like 5 years ago that meant something then, but now they mean something completely different, which is it blows my mind.
I got a question.
Welcome back, Dave.
Yeah, it's right. When you Bailey's written some songs, and I've written some songs. Curly's written a book. I'm interested in when you get your ideas. What is it? A certain I know I would get them early in the morning all the time because my mind was fresh. So when you're writing those songs, coming up with ideas, you need another verse. Did you find there's a certain time or certain mood you're in, or whenever when those things would come to you when you're creating? If you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to think of how to answer that one, because everybody's got different ways of in different times. I remember reading about Keith Richards. He kept a recorder by his bed and he'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then he'd be singing melodies and lyrics out, and then he said it'd just go through my head, and he said because he obviously had a studio at home, so then obviously off he goes, But for me, that something doesn't work for me. Interestingly, when I have a real job during the day, and I'm a contractor, and in a couple of my contracts, I generally I'm alone for quite a bit of the day, so there's nobody around, and I started because it was a time where I was just and my work it's not rocket science, so I do what I do every day, and so at that I've got no distractions. And if I'm got machinery, I've got earmuffs on.
Yep.
And the whole world's shut out, and I'm machinery. That's generally the time where my mind starts to wander, and that's the time where I start coming up with ideas. And it got to the point where I have to keep. I actually do it on my phone. Knock my phone out, and people are going, "You're on your phone again," you know. So I'm frantically trying to write something in my notes so that I don't forget it. But I stop and I'll sing a or something onto my phone, or I scratch it down onto a pad. But I keep a pad because it was quicker for me just to scratch it onto a piece of paper and stick a pad in my pocket and then keep working. And a lot of the sort of Afterlife and Run for Cover and that were work, but generally lyrically I did write at Some Ungodly Hour. Well, most of the lyrics on Some Ungodly Hour one night while everyone and had a lamp on in the lounge room.
Typical musician.
Sitting, and I'd have headphones in and play it back, and I think, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I'll try that, and then go into the studio and then sing through things around, and but generally I don't.
And some songs
Right.
Some songs come out real quick, and other ones you ponder over for ages. No, change that. Yeah.
Lyrics don't. It's not something that flows to me quickly. So, I do for a bit, but once again, like a lot of songwriters, I guess, but I've spoken to quite a few over the years now. They'll write something, and then once again, it sounds great, but you come back, you sit with it for a bit, and you come back and try it again. It's like, no, it doesn't work. I'm happy with that, and you go back and you throw it over your shoulder and start again.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah, and I still do that to a degree today, but I'm really like something to say, okay, I've got this, I'm happy with that. Particularly when you go in the studio and you sing through it and they play it back and say, oh, yeah, that works, Not to get too tied up in the trying to get it exactly right, because I go in there with an idea in my head, and what comes out is nothing like it, and I'm okay with that, because it's actually it's like building a house. It kind of builds, and everybody puts their bit in, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's it's interesting process.
Have you ever written a song in one melody, but then you've gone into the studio and you've changed the melody, and you've had to sort of unsing the old melody to sing the new one?
Firelight was that.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
That was a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. There, Luke was getting the gist with me. You got to sing that again. I was,
you say it like this and sing this like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He work with he's very diplomatic when he talks to you. He said, well, mate, that was really good. But look, I've got an idea. We need to probably change this around, and and I've got to, that was crap, wasn't it? Like I was a bit flat. Yeah. You kind of, we need to be, you need to be going up, up a third.
You need someone to trust, and you need someone who's honest in the studio with you.
Yeah,
you can't. You need someone to say, no, that's shit.
Absolutely.
And but it has to be someone you trust as well. So
Absolutely, and you got to not take it personally as well. Like it's
Right, exactly.
like I think we have this fucking ego thing. Like we want to play every instrument and everything, and you always hear if you look at the song credits on songs, there's so many songwriters on there, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing like
Yeah.
people who are not musicians, except for Curly, because you're one of us
I'm a
now, Curly.
non-muso.
Nah, you're one of us now.
no, but Curly's written a book, so he's creative as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Like, and I don't know if Curly's had help on the book, and if he did, that would be okay. That's the thing. Like,
only in the spelling.
I think you spelled Braggy, mate.
And on that note, guys, it's we've been going for 53 minutes, so
Wow,
I
it's
need to
Oh, really?
wind it up. Absolutely. So Jeff, just so everyone knows, we've added Jeff's songs to the Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist on Spotify. They're absolute crackers. I actually really like River of Lies as well. It's I sort of liken that to an upper, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's a love song that's just gone wrong, but anyway, it's another fantastic song. So
Yeah.
so we've added them to the Undiscovered and Unfiltered, Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist on Spotify. We'll also add them to our YouTube playlists. Don't forget, we've got the protest songs out there on playlists on Spotify and YouTube. Jeff, if anyone's wanting to make connection with you, what's the best way to do it?
Email's probably a best way. It's did you want me to
Go for it. Drop it
in
like
Yeah.
it's hot.
It's info at ncentertainment.com.au.
Excellent. And of course, we'll have your individual Spotify songs links in the show notes as well. Jeff, very enlightening podcast.
That was
so
so
fascinating finding
Love
out
it.
about songs.
Fucking love it. I could talk to you all day, and I can't wait to get you back on. And
Well, we almost did. It's 55 minutes.
getting back on. Fucking
Well,
so when's the
I
next
think
lot of
enough
music
having-
coming out?
Sorry.
When's the next lot of music coming out?
Well, I just quickly I've had a song that I recorded and it was just me and no one else, me and Luke. So I played everything, did all the harmonies, everything,
Here
all the vocal work, the whole lot.
We're just talking about musicians wanting to do the whole fucking thing.
I did. I wanted to do that so I could prove to myself I could do it. Like it, and it was like I don't like it.
No.
So I hung on to it. So what I've done now, I stripped all the vocals and all the harmonies. I'm turning it into a instrumental. So yeah. So as I done all the guitar parts, and it needs a little bit more in there. And I've got another song that I've just started. So it's my songs all it's tend to be a bit dark, but it's another dark song. But the instrumental's a bit lighter. So yeah, something different again.
Well, stay in contact.
Sorry.
Stay in contact and let us know.
Yes.
And we'd be more than happy to chat about it next your next lot of release. So final words from Bailey and Braggy.
Final words. Fucking really enjoyed that, Jeff. That was awesome. Can't wait to have a drink with you up in Brizzy one night. And yeah, that's it from B.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Just keep doing it, Jeff. Keep it creating. We've got all the tools we have now this day and age to keep doing that. So got to do it.
Yeah, you can be an old rock star.
Oh, why not? It's going to happen someday. It's going to be someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
never too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for all our listeners out there, you can now connect with us on Facebook. Look for the Unfiltered and Undiscovered Facebook page. Jeff is the king of the music trivia at the moment. So every morning we're trying to post a bit of a music trivia question to get some people thinking. So Jeff's winning it by a country mile. We're on YouTube. Just look us up, Unfiltered and Undiscovered. And of course, we've got our upcoming shows. Next week, we've got Mark the Producer for
Producer
a
Mark.
pre-show. So over the next couple of weeks, we've got some really exciting stuff. We've had an Undiscovered session. We've got our promoter, our producer, and our punter. You could call Big Stu the punter. And on top of that, we've got Blind Season coming to us from Detroit in Michigan. So that's going to be just awesome.
Can't keep up. It's great.
So subscribe, press that button, and we will see you all again next Thursday at 6:30.
See you guys.
All right.